welcome to the Sustainable Wardrobe. Today I'm here with Roberta Lee from Roberta Style Lee.
Hi.
She's involved in many different things. You're a confidence coach, you do ethical styling, you have a podcast. Can you tell us some more about all the different things that you do and how they tie together?
Absolutely. Okay, so you're absolutely right. So I'm Roberta Lee, the founder of Roberta Style Lee, and I basically created this business off the back of my own personal story. So fashion has always been something that's really enabled me to feel more confident. So it's not necessarily the solution to feeling more confident, but it's definitely a tool that I've always realised has been able to boost my confidence and self-esteem. So I have the confidence coaching, which is about kind of like figuring out what makes you confident from the inside, and then I have the personal styling, which is almost like the icing or the cherry on the cake. So yeah, my journey with the personal styling really kind of changed about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was starting to get stressed out with all of the stuff I had, and I will, I admit I was a fast fashion addict.
Yeah.
I shopped without a conscience. I didn't think about who made my clothes, where they came from, why were they so cheap, and I used to have this mentality, oh, only if I wear it once, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I had all these clothes in the wardrobe with tags on, and getting ready used to become an absolute nightmare. And I would be frazzled and frustrated. I would be late for work. I would turn up to work in a tiz. I would be like, what the hell am I wearing?
What is this?
I had too much clothing. So I went on a bit of a kind of wardrobe detox. And I've always been big at giving back. So part of that journey was I was donating to charity shops. But then I started thinking a little bit more about, actually, my clothes don't really go really to the charity shop. A lot of it goes to landfill.
Yeah. It's one of the painful truths, I think.
It's a painful I'm afraid. We think it's okay to just shop, and when we're done with it, donate it to charity.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for years. So it wasn't until I started exploring, like, where do my clothes go? And I've always been big on sustainability, but doing it in a way that feels right for me, and making it fit into my lifestyle. So that was really, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do what works for you.
Yeah, it's like, I think, and also kind of referring to what you mentioned earlier, you mentioned the word detox, which I think kind of fits in with how I usually view it. It's kind of like a diet that you're on, but in the most positive way possible. But sometimes you just need to cheat a bit, or sometimes you need to change your flavor, you need to mix it up a bit.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, I think something that you need to kind of keep in mind. It needs to work with your lifestyle and what you're doing, because otherwise you're never going to be able to stick with it, and you're never going to be able to work with it.
Absolutely. It's like anything in life. Making a change has to be sustainable. Okay, so it's not about just emptying your wardrobes of everything you've bought from the high street from a brand that is fast fashion, because that's really unsustainable as well. So part of my journey and part of my service that I offer to my clients is I help them understand how to create a wardrobe that makes them look good and feel good, but how to actually make more out of what you've already got. And then when you're ready to kind of transition into this more ethical, sustainable brands, to plan what you need, and then to look at researching those and avoid impulse purchasing. Okay, because this is impulse purchases. I guarantee, if you really honestly reviewed everything in your wardrobe that you bought on impulse, only a small percentage of those items get the true love and care that they deserve.
It's true.
So I treat my clothes like friends.
Do you just like?
As in, how much time do I spend with them?
All right, fair enough. I get that. It's just like you take care of them. You present them in a nice way. You make sure they get other friends that compliment them.
Exactly. They need to be taken out. They deserve it.
Very nice. What I want to talk to you about, which is something that you've also kind of already touched upon, is the overlap between styling coach and confidence coach.
I say that confidence manifests itself in every single thing that we do, from healthy mindset, healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, to the people that you spend time with, to the way that you wake up and present yourself to the world. Okay, so that's where the style comes in, because it's incredibly powerful.
And I think especially for women, because
especially for women,
if you look at style through the 20th century up till now, things have changed so much. Obviously, we could talk about different styles that are influenced by different movements for ages. But we won't.
We're going to stay focused.
We will focus. But no, I think as a woman, you have so many different ways to express yourself through fashion and through your style than I think men often have the opportunity to. So why not use this to our advantage?
Absolutely. And that is the advantage we do have over men. We have the opportunity to present ourselves in a completely different way. Like, we can dress confidently even if we're not feeling it on the inside, and we will, if we stand tall and we look at ourselves in the mirror, we will start to manifest that desire to feel more confident, and eventually that will help us. Men, you know, shirt and tie, jeans and t-shirt, I mean, they're kind of limited, don't get me wrong. Like, men's style and fashion, I love it. I have some male clients that I've helped transform, but it's more exciting working with women. Because we can express our personality and our strengths through what we wear. And this links back into confidence, because when you're confident about who you are, the way you dress reflects your personality. And when you're confident about the choices you make, whether you choose to be ethical or sustainable, that empowers you, because someone says to you, hey, I love that top, where's it from? And you go, oh, I don't know. And they go, oh, what's that brand about? And you go, but if you love your clothes and you know what you're wearing and why, someone asks you a question and you're like, boom.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of it.
Assertive, I know what I'm wearing and I know why I'm wearing it.
Yeah, I have found that though, since I have added these sustainable pieces to my style. For example, this top, very happy to share. This is from Komodo and I got it at the Key Boutique in Brixton, and I love it and I love talking about it and I love the colors in it. I love that it's all natural, and if somebody were to ask me, I wouldn't be able to shut up. But it would be something that I'm passionate about and that I love chatting about. And so
therefore it lights you up. You feel confident, you're in your space, you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So that in turn, it's that self-esteem. You know, that links to confidence. So that's where I bridge the kind of gap and I make the connections.
We've touched upon slightly when we're talking about confidence and how it ties in with how we dress. I'm also very aware when I talk about sustainable wardrobe or living more sustainably that it's part of a bigger mindset almost, and of something that you really need to feel comfortable with, and you need to kind of explore, and having a positive mindset and mental health also ties into this in a way which I will probably elaborate on further, not in this video. Okay. But it's something that really is the background of it, and I think, like we also mentioned earlier, if you don't feel like it fits into your lifestyle and if it's not something that is going to work for you, you're not going to stick with it. How do you feel about this balance between the actual, action of perhaps like buying sustainable products, wearing a sustainable wardrobe, and this kind of like background, this kind of mentality, this ethical setting that's the basis? How do you feel like those kind of like tie into each other and balance each other out?
Okay, so that's interesting. So I'd just like to backtrack ever so slightly, because I feel like when we talk about ethical and sustainable fashion, it means different things to different people.
That's true.
So like I think I put something out on Instagram lately, or I've scheduled it to go out, but it was around that question. Like, what does it mean to be ethical? What does it mean to be sustainable? And how does that manifest itself in my life? Yeah. Because it will be different for you and it will be different for me. So how am I sustainable? I don't chuck out the things that are in my wardrobe anymore. I've got clothing from brands that are not ethical and not sustainable, but I'm not going to chuck them away because I'm not done with them yet. They've still got much more use in them. And actually, it's that appreciation for something that was created under undue stress, in poor conditions. I'm not just going to chuck that out. I mean, it's happened.
Yeah, like it's already there.
I'm going to try to make sure that I respect that, and I try to make more of it. So how do you be sustainable? Well, you use more of what you already have, and you stop kind of buying into the consumer trap. Because to me, it's unsustainable to chuck out all of your clothes,
of course,
and then go out and be obsessed with trying to find an ethical and sustainable brand for underwear, an ethical sustainable brand for jeans, and then I mean, it's not widely accessible, and it's a frustration.
And it's also more expensive. Let's just say that buying ethically, obvious, think once you make the choice, you have to be happy to spend this money on it, because you support the network that it's based on and the idea that it's based on. But it's something that is at a higher price point, and if you have loads of things that are still fine but that you happen to have bought in fast fashion chains, then it's better to make the most of it, and that way you can slowly build it.
Yeah,
sorry, did I totally take away your answer?
No, but that's totally my belief. So what's sustainable and what's ethical? You know, like,
Yeah.
do you support people that are treating their employees ethically? You know, are you supporting brands that have good, strong, ethical, moral backbones? That's your choice once you've got the knowledge to behave ethically. And then you have a choice to be sustainable.
Yeah.
So that there is the actions you take in everyday life, which is, do you recycle? Do you buy in excess? Do you just make the most of what you've got, or do you go out and just go back to your old kind of consumer habits? So I think there's a split between being ethical and being sustainable.
Okay.
So that's the fair treatment of the planet, people, and animals. In my opinion, that's the ethical side of it.
Yes.
Sustainable side of it is being resourceful.
Yeah. I think we're kind of in the same level.
Okay, great.
I think I would more explain it towards, if you're sustainable, it's something that you feel like you're comfortable with and you can keep up with it, and it's at your own pace.
Oh, absolutely. How you apply sustainability into your life is going to be different.
Yeah.
So for example, I make a joke. We've got another Instagram account at the moment. We've just started it, and it's about food. And I'm
always
like,
a good topic.
And I'm like 80% vegetarian, 10% vegan, 10% pescatarian. Kind of jokey, because that transition, I tried being full vegan. Okay.
I applaud you. I don't think that I could.
And you know, I was a full-on vegetarian, but then I started to eat fish, but I really don't eat it very often. So when I say 10%, so that's my way of being sustainable with my diet, trying to be organic, trying to be resourceful, trying to eat healthy.
Yeah.
So I have that split, and I apply that as well in fashion and styling. And sometimes you need something, and it is not available. An ethical and sustainable brand has not produced what you want. It's not available.
No,
so what do you do?
What do you do? And sometimes I think what was very daunting to me when I first got into sustainable fashion is that you're looking for a brand that is everything. There's no brand that's ever going to be up to like top notch on every single issue. 100%. It's virtual, like it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it won't always be impossible. Who knows?
It will in time, I think, be better.
Yeah. But I think it's something that can be very daunting if you're looking at starting. Like, where do you start is already difficult. But if you're looking at something you want to, it's going to be, I'm going to start this and it's going to be flawless. Kind of coming back to that perfectionist issue, perhaps, that you mentioned earlier.
You just have to pick the issues that resonate the most for you.
Yeah.
And like, if it's child labour, if it's unfair working conditions, if it's testing against animals, is it made in the UK? You just have to figure out where your passion points are, and then just support the brands that are doing the most in that space. Because you can't be everything to everybody, and you can't expect that, not at this stage. That is why I am doing...
Nice, very nice.
That is why I am building the Ethical A to Z, so the directory, to help frustrated shoppers that are struggling to find and identify these brands that fit with their morals, and figure out, I used to shop here and I'm looking for jeans. Where can I go? Where's the alternative?
Just kind of like dupes. I have that. I have Pinterest, which is just to me personally, but I have one board that's all about ethical dupes. Or, for example, one brand, and it's like, this is for things that are very much like Zara. I mean, I used to love Zara. I still kind of love Zara, but I don't really want to shop at Zara.
But you can still use anything you bought from Zara in the past.
Yeah, definitely. You don't need to tell me.
Just for the viewers, we're just saying, we
still
wear the clothes that we've bought.
Yes, very much so.
I think, when you're going through kind of trying to figure out what your own personal style is, that doesn't happen overnight. Like, I'm in my 30s now. I've had over 20 years of trial and error and dressing terribly, dressing outrageously, dressing so that I wouldn't look like anybody else on the high street, cutting stuff up myself, going to the tailor, like making my own versions of things.
Amazing.
I have been through the goth stage, I've been through the hippie phase, I've gone through the cyberpunk phase, gone through the, dressing older than my age, because, let's face it, when I was younger I wanted to get into bars.
It's always very important.
It's always very important. So I went through all these phases of dressing, and then when I was at university I was doing performing arts. I dressed really kind of like outlandish, like, hey, look at me.
I'm creative.
I'm creative.
Yeah.
And so you go through all these phases, and then over the years you start to notice key pieces that repeat themselves, like the things that you go back to. What items? Why do you love it so much? Why do you keep buying the same type of thing? Because instinctively you will be drawn to certain items that you feel comfortable in and you feel like make you feel good.
Yeah.
So I have some key pieces that have been consistent throughout all of the years. I think it's brilliant because I pull stuff out and I'm like, oh, I was wearing this 15 years ago, it's back in fashion.
It's here again.
It's here again and I have a vintage now.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is a great reason to shop vintage because you can just find things.
Exactly.
Platforms, you can find it.
Yeah.
You don't need to buy them.
But no, you don't. And actually that's my thing is, so I know what my personal style is. I know my body shape. I know the things that I have bought in the past that have a reoccurring theme that just crop back up in my personal style journey.
Yeah.
So, not like I've documented it, but I'm very aware of it. I know the shapes that suit me. I know what colours suit me. So therefore, when I'm thinking about my personal style, I'm very much like, okay, well I know in my head roughly what my silhouette is. I know what always looks good on me.
Yeah.
And so what message am I trying to portray?
Alright.
And, you know, I've always been kind of, you know, I like that feminine, slightly edgy look. That's always been my kind of thing.
Feminine with a twist.
Feminine with a twist, yes. So, I mean, that kind of links into your personal style. So then when you know exactly what your key kind of pieces are, they're much easier to identify. When I go to a vintage store, I go straight to the skirt racks, I go straight for the skirts with the teeny tiny waist, and I look and I'm like, okay, this was probably about 20, 30 years old, the body shape is perfect for me. I'm like, I can't go to a high street store or a ethical or sustainable brand. They don't do 26, 24 inch waist skirts that are wide enough to fit my curvy hips. So you see,
I
going
have
vintage.
that a lot with jeans as well. I've recently found, I'm very proud of this, I recently found the perfect black
do share.
mom jeans, high-waisted. I got them at Make Do and Mend. It's in Pop Brixton,
Yeah.
which is great anyway. And they're just these perfect high waist. They fit like around my curves.
The curves are important.
The curves
Respect
are
for the
very
curves.
important. Yeah, but it's something that I had a lot of trouble. I got these jeans as well from Koi, which is a sustainable brand, but I had to like order 10 times before I got something
right
that
size,
kind of
yeah.
like came close to fitting my body shape, which is something, especially with jeans, but also skirts, I find very difficult. Just kind of these unforgiving materials.
Yes.
Yes.
But again, I mean, this might kind of, again, segue into another question you've got, but this is one of the tips that I give to...
Tips are welcome at any
Tips
time.
are welcome anytime. This is one of the tips that I give to a lot of my female clients, and this is around them feeling unconfident and like they have the wrong body shape when they go into a high street store and they try something on and it doesn't fit. And I say to them, this is generic. You are unique. You are special and beautiful. And this was made for nobody in particular. Okay, so that's me holding up a dress, by the way.
Yeah. We were all envisioning it.
I'm not like raising my fist to punch or anything. I'm holding the hanger.
We're there.
So the idea that you can just go to a store or order online and buy something that's made for the generic population and you expect it to fit, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane thinking. We are all beautifully unique. That's why my biggest tip for you is invest in a tailor, because it will make you and your outfits look 100 times more pulled together. You buy something cheap, you take it to a tailor, it looks 100 times the price.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, enjoy. Share with all of your friends. Also, make sure that you subscribe, follow, and listen to Roberta on all of her different social medias and podcasty things. I will link them all below, so don't worry, you'll be able to find them super easily.
Just Google Roberta Style Lee, you'll see everything that I'm putting out across the internet.
Perfect. Alright, and thanks again so much, and
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for coming over.
Thank you.
See you next time.